Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here a couple days before the 2016 Lake Sonoma 50 mile. I'm with Dylan Bowman. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to my beautiful backyard.
This is your backyard.
Yes, it is.
You're fresh off an airplane this afternoon.
Yes, I am. Luckily, the race this weekend is also nearly in my backyard, so I won't have to be doing any more traveling. But yeah, I was in Argentina for the last week with the North Face. Really fun trip. Didn't have to sacrifice training at all, which made it a convenient and awesome opportunity for me. And I'm happy to be home. And now I have a few days to rest up and get ready for the race.
Social media made your trip to South America look pretty darn good.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we were there just to do some photo shoots and, kind of see some of the new gear that's going to be coming out. And I was with Mike Foote and Fernando Maciel, and we got out for some runs together and got to see some really beautiful mountains. And honestly, I can't wait to go back. It was quite fun. So, it was great.
A taste of what you can do down there.
Yeah, we were in Bariloche, and that's sort of like southwestern Argentina, sort of near the border of Chile. And I had never really heard of the place before they asked me to come, and I Google imaged it, and
okay, it's pretty enough.
Yeah, so now I just can't wait to go back.
So it's 2016. It's a new racing season.
Can you believe it?
Is this your official kickoff?
Yeah, for the most part. I did Way Too Cool, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was a good sort of shock to the system, sort of see how things were going. I took a longer than normal break after the North Face 50 miler at the end of last season. And I think that longer than normal break was something that was really beneficial for me. Going into Way Too Cool, I only had a few good weeks of training, so I was really happy with how that race went. And the more and more I do this, the more it seems that I benefit from rest more than I benefit from.
Funny that, huh?
Yeah. So I've been feeling really good. I've got now another 4 or 5 good weeks of training in since Way Too Cool. And more important than anything, I'm just really excited to race.
Awesome. Yeah. Last year seemed, as an outsider looking in at your year, it seemed like an interesting kind of transitional year for Dylan Bowman. Like, what's your assessment of your 2015?
Yeah, I was talking to Mike Foote about this last week, and there was some really high highs and also a couple really low lows. I had a few really good races. In fact, 3 of probably my best races ever happened last season. But then I also put myself in the hospital and dropped out of Western States, which was the ultimate goal of the season. So, I'd prefer to be more level and more consistent, which I think I always have been in my career. And I think avoiding those major valleys are, that's kind of what I'm going to try and do this season. I've been working with Jason Coop a lot and how we can do that a little bit better. But overall, like I said, I was really happy with the way my season went. I think it's something that I can build on going forward. And look forward to starting that this weekend.
You sort of centered that explanation on your lows, but you also had some pretty incredible highs. You took second at the North Face last year.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was great. The race sort of just played out perfectly for me. Kind of a day where really nothing went wrong. A great way to end the season, especially having dropped out of Western States, which was the major goal before TNF. Right. It was good for my confidence, coming back off that big disappointment to then have a good race again. And earlier in the season I had a couple good races too that I was really happy with. And so overall, the racing was pretty successful, you know, at least outside of Western states. But beyond that, you know, I think I grew as an athlete. I matured. I learned new stuff, and for me, you know, I still feel like I'm learning a lot, even though I've kind of been in the game for a long time. And so, you know, there's a lot more positives came out of last year for sure for me.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think you know, I'm still developing as an athlete, and I can still improve, hopefully.
What does 2016 hold for you?
I'm still trying to figure that out,
Okay.
to be honest. Yeah, I'm doing this race, obviously, and then I think I'm going to do the Cayuga 50 miler in New York. And then, I don't know, I think I might forego the 100-mile distance
Okay.
for the year.
Okay.
I have a few different schedules that I'm sort of playing around with. But at least right now, I anticipate doing Cayuga and then the Ultra Boston 90K, Lake Templier, and then the North Face 50 mile.
Okay.
I want to do UTMB, but this year it seems like it's going to be nearly impossible for me to train in the appropriate places to get myself ready for it, just because I have a lot of other things going on in the summer. So that's kind of how it stands now, and we'll see how it plays out.
Awesome. This weekend, the competition is a competitive field, but it is a different competitive field than sort of the people we've seen and the dynamic that we've seen. There's a lot of like fresh feathers that are going to be flapping around this weekend. What do you think about what's happening with this part of the world's trail running right now and trail racing?
Yeah, you know, it's something I think about a lot. But to be honest, I haven't looked at the start list yet.
Not looking.
No, it's not even that. I pulled up the race preview this morning, but then got distracted. So that's still on my reading list. I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm sure it's going to be very competitive. Beyond, you know, 4 or 5 names, I don't know who else is in the field, but I'm sure there's going to be, you know, at least 10 guys that can be competitive. And, you know, for me at this point in my career, like, I really want to focus on that kind of racing, you know, and this is a kind of race that I really want to be successful at. And, you know, to your point about what's happening in trail running, you know, it's kind of hard to find competitive fields to race against at 50 miles, especially in North America.
Right.
But, you know, really on the global circuit, their sport seems to be getting longer and longer. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I also really like racing, you know, 6 to 8 hour races. So,
Go home, sleep in your bed at night.
Yeah.
Wake up not feeling so terrible the next day.
Yeah, and you can just do more racing, and I think there's something to be said for, you know, how deep you have to go in, you know, the, you know, 125 to 160K races, and you know, there's still obviously a huge passion of mine is to do those really long sort of Vision Quest style events, but it's just a matter of picking when and where you expend that energy, and ensuring that you don't do it too much. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but yeah, I mean the competition I'm sure is going to be fierce. I'll have a look at the start list, I'm sure, in the next 24 hours. But I anticipate it'll be quick.
Sounds like your year then is sort of your tour of 80 to 100K races around the world, huh?
For the most part, that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. It'll allow me again to race more, to still go on cool trips and see different parts of the world, and also allow me to avoid going really, really deep this year.
Visiting the dark places.
Yeah. Not to say that I won't race hard and that I won't train really hard, but, you know, I just turned 30 last week.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And but I've been doing this now, since I was like 23 years old. So, part of me, I feel like a veteran, but I also feel like, I just got started.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to make sure that I can continue to race and compete for, several more years.
Right on.
And I think, approaching this year, and taking it a little bit differently. It's the first time not doing Western States in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not just do something different, and we'll see. I mean, I may end up at UTMB for all I know.
I gotta stay away.
I'm just sort of like talking through all my, what I've been thinking about over the last 6 or 8 months. So.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you this weekend.
Thanks so much.
It'll be fun to see you run some shorter races around the world this year.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Megan.
Okay.